Hey, what's up YouTube? This is the Mermail Master coming at you guys again from the Team Time Riders YouTube channel today with a deck profile. This is going to be the abridged version of my Chazz Princeton deck profile that I've been working quite a long time on. This is the combination of the Armed Dragon, VWXYZ, and Ojama monsters all in one place at one time. So guys, without further ado, let's get into this deck profile so you can see exactly what I am playing. I'm just going to let you know there's one proxy in here, so when you come across the card Graceful Charity, just know that that card is going to be the Ojama Delta Hurricane. So to start off with the Armed Dragon monsters, we have 2 Armed Dragon level 5, 2 Armed Dragon level 7, and 1 Armed Dragon level 10. You can get all these guys out with your cards. Really good cards, and they're all searchable as well. Next, moving on for the VWXYZ stuff, we have 3 V Tiger Jet and only 2 W-Wing Catapult. These are slightly more common, and you can special summon them more often, and it takes less of them to go into your stuff. So that's it. So that's for the VW stuff. For the XYZ stuff, we've got 1 copy of X, 1 copy of Y, and 1 copy of Z. These guys are the OGs, and very easy to pull them out of the deck. But beware that, you know, this is the only stuff that you do run in this deck for XYZ stuff. So your XYZ Dragon Cannon's got to remain on the field so that it can do some more of its shenanigans and plays. Next, we're running 3 copies, or 2 copies of each of the 3 original Ojamas. You may be asking, where's Ojama Red and where's Ojama Blue? This is a Chazz character deck, and ultimately wanted to keep the focus on these 3. If you guys take a look at the YCS winner, or a regional top 8 in Scotland, I believe, the guy basically ran only these 3 Ojamas along with an ABC build running Ojamatification. Very good card for the extra deck to basically pump these guys out. And the Ojama Red and Ojama Blue put the focus too far on the Ojamas, which are not the focus of this deck at all. As I will say in the other profile, of course, Chazz is, you know, he's the man who, you know, was talking bad about his Ojamas at first, but came to realize eventually, you know, the Ojamas are the star of this deck, and they absolutely are, and they help you to really get out the, you know, all your rest of your guys with the cards that I'm about to show you guys. So that's it for the last 3 of these Ojamas. You'll be recycling these guys lots and lots, and they're going to be helping you summon lots of cool cards. So now moving on to the spells. So we have the 2 main spells. These are the 2 new spells. 3 copies of Ojama Simulation and 3 copies of Ojamatch. So starting off with Ojama Simulation allows you to basically banish any Ojama monsters from your hand, field, or graveyard, and then special summon an equal number of light machine type monsters from your deck. They can either be normal monsters or union monsters that are specifically named on that fusion card. So very cool card. And these are the guys that you basically use to get out VW, X, Y, and Z. You do have to reveal those fusion monsters from your deck, but it does all of that without doing a normal summon, and it's not once per turn. The same thing, of course, goes for Ojamatch, who is your Armed Dragon leg of the deck. And Ojamatch basically allows you to grab any, you ditch an Ojama card from your hand or field to the graveyard, and that's any Ojama card. Allows you to grab 1 Ojama monster and 1 Armed Dragon monster, and then you get an extra normal summon right away on that turn. So the real goal is discard an Ojama card, use Ojamatch, grab any of your Ojama trio and an Armed Dragon level 5, then normal summon the Ojama off of the Ojamatch's effect, and then you can normal summon Armed Dragon level 5 directly to the field. So these really kickstart your plays and allow you to, you know, this is really where the synergy of this deck starts to shine. So guys, that is it for those spells. Next, we are running 3 copies of Ojamatch, And you may be asking why 3 as well. I originally had this card at 1 because I used the deck that Konami had created for this as kind of a basis, but then I bumped the number up to 2 because I wasn't seeing it enough and I wanted to see the card more, and then finally I bumped it up to 3, which was actually a sentiment shared also by the guy who top 8 that regional. And the number of times that Ojama Simulation and Ojamas come in clutch for you is insane. And the reason why I wanted to bring up them right now is because of what Ojamas does. Because Ojamas, when you discard it from your hand to the graveyard, allows you to add all 3 of your Ojama yellow, black, and green to your hand. And Ojama Simulation and Ojamas basically allow you to banish these cards from your graveyard to target any of your 3 banished Ojama monsters and bring them back to your hand. Or bring them back into the deck, shuffle it, and you get to draw a card. So you don't even have to run things like the Pot of Acquisitiveness in here, which will take you out of like sort of the Chazz experience of the deck. Now, this deck, of course, is not maximized to take advantage of like links or anything like that, but is more so maximizing the kinds of crazy plays that Chazz himself loves to do. And with your Ojamas getting shuffled back into your deck at like crazy intervals and you're having lots of discard outlets, running any less than 3 Ojamagic, I don't recommend it. So this has been a fantastic card at 3. Next card we're running in the deck, guys, is going to be that 1 copy of, or actually I'm going to do this first. We have 3 copies of Level Up. And this is another card that is really good for those Armed Dragons, and it's one of the combos that allows me to go for Armed Dragon level 10 so easily, because Level Up just basically allows me to take an Armed Dragon level 5 and then special summon an Armed Dragon level 7 directly from my deck. And Armed Dragon level 5 is kind of troublesome because he basically has to attack into a monster in order to activate his effect, and your opponent's not always going to have a monster with less than 2400 attack for you to just beat over, or they'll have something that'll negate the effect in the end phase. And with Vanity's Emptiness, kind of like the big thing gone, Level Up's cost-based special summon effect will get off a lot more often. So you basically special summon Armed Dragon level 7 from your deck. You already got 1/2 of your combo for the Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon right out on your field. And bonus points for you if you were able to have Armed Dragon level 10 in your hand or search it off of Ojamagic, because an Ojamagic, a Level Up, and then either Armed Dragon level 5 or 10 will automatically and immediately allow you to field Armed Dragon level 10 to the field. So I've gotten it to the field crazy number of times, probably like 6, 7, or 8 times since I started testing the deck. It comes out very, very often and is super easy. It's a lot of fun, and your opponent is always going to be really amazed to see that card. Previously thought like almost unsummonable unless a dedicated deck did it. It is now one of your main combo pieces. The other reason Armed Dragon level 10, of course, is awesome is because you get to send it. You get to send your Armed Dragon level 7 to the graveyard, so your opponent doesn't have a chance to send it back to your deck, banish it, or get rid of it as easily from the field, so that you don't have to, so that you can't banish it for the Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon. So that's Level Up. Last 2 cards in the deck, we have 1 copy of the Graceful Charity, which, as I mentioned, guys, this is my proxy right now for Ojama Delta Hurricane. As I said, your Ojamas like facilitate things, but there's lots of ways that you can get your Ojama special summon to the field, and I'll show you a little combo that I really, really like once we get to the trap cards. Very, very cool card with Graceful Charity. And then finally, we have 1 copy of Limiter Removal. You run a lot of machines in here, getting them up to massive attack power and allowing yourself to OTK is very, very awesome. It's kind of like a backup play, and both this and Ojama Delta Hurricane kind of play into the next cards that we have. So to first start out with my traps here, I'm going to start out with just the 1 trap Ojama Duo, because this is going to allow me to explain the final trap in this. So this is a brand new card from the Circuit Break set, and it allows you to basically, when you flip it, you can special summon 2 of the Ojama tokens to your opponent's side of the field. This is an awesome play for just clogging up your opponent's zones if they're not playing a Link deck, or if you're playing an earlier game. No tribute summoning with that, which is really, really good. And The most important thing is it gives something for your Armed Dragon level 5 to run over, so we can go up into Armed Dragon level 7. Where these tokens really shine, though, is discarding off of the Armed Dragon's effects, which is another great way to sort of go for those plays. And Ojama Duo, when it's in the grave, except during the turn it was sent there, you can banish it at any point during the game as kind of a quick effect to special summon any 2 Ojama monsters from your deck. The reason I mentioned that was because, it's just a very easy way to ramp up into some crazy plays with your Ojamas, as well as getting you, for instance, the materials that you might need for Ojama assimilation if you haven't drawn too many Ojamas. So really awesome card. He's in here at 1, thinking about bumping him up to 2. Time will tell. And now for the main attraction, I guess to say, is Ojama Pajama at 3, and this is the last of the new support cards that came out for the deck. And Ojama Pajama is an amazing card with 3 awesome effects. So the first effect, which I guess is the least used effect, at least that I found, is if this card gets sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can special summon any of your banished Ojama monsters, which is cool if you've got a lot of banished stuff and you need to get it back. I don't use that effect too often. I have gotten it off a couple of times, and it's, put me some chunk blockers on the board and whatnot. Most of the times, you'll be sending your Ojamas from your hand or grave, banishing them, and then adding them back to your deck so you can draw cards off your other spells and traps. Next effect of Ojama Pajama is that when it's on the field, you can banish any Ojama card, including like Ojamagics or other Ojama things, from your graveyard in order to prevent monsters you control from being destroyed by battle or card effects. And it's not once per turn. Can protect is, in the same way as that Return of the Dragon Lords can protect against like a strike, for instance. Just a really awesome card. Just banishes that stuff away. And the final effect is the one that you really come here for, and that's the effect that once per turn you can add 1 Ojama card from your deck to your hand. That includes any of the new support, as long as it has Ojama in its name. Add it from your deck to your hand, and then discard 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. Very awesome card. And you can do a variety of different plays with that. Ojamagic is the main thing that you add from your deck to your hand, and then shoot it to the graveyard to add all 3 of the Ojamas to start fueling your plays up. And then the play that I mentioned before with Ojama Delta Hurricane and Ojama Duo, on your opponent's turn, which you can activate this during their main phase as well. Discard Ojama Duo to the grave if you've got an Ojama in your hand. And then on their turn, discard something to the grave to grab the Ojama Delta Hurricane. Normal summon your Ojama, banish this to special the 2 you don't have, and Ojama Delta Hurricane the whole field, and then go off for all your plays. It also helps for just your Ojamas are free kind of fodder for all these plays in your hand. Ojamagics, lots of things can search you out things in your deck. So Ojama Pajama is definitely an amazing card. Between the protection, special summon ability, and just discarding things to search things, just an awesome card. So now we're going to finish up with the main deck, guys, before we move on to the not so large extra deck. But we're finishing things off with 2 of Chazz's favorite trap card, Call of the Haunted, which he's used on several occasions. He never used Monster Reborn, so that's not in here, but Call of the Haunted was Chazz's main squeeze for a long time, and he uses to get back a variety of different cards. And then the final card we've got here is 1 copy of Ring of Destruction, which is something that he's also used on the reg. I was sitting at 36 cards in this deck for a while, but putting in the 40th, another good play. So now that that's done, guys, we're moving on to the extra deck. A lot of synergy and stuff here. We've, of course, got the 1 XYZ Dragon Cannon for going into your guys. And then we have 2 VW Tiger Catapult because you're running more of those. And then the next card we have in this deck is 3 copies of VWXYZ Dragon Catapult Cannon. Very cool card. And all of these guys are basically just really awesome renditions. XYZ Dragon Cannon can pop any cards your opponent controls, and it's not once per turn, and neither is V Tiger Catapult. So there's a lot of synergy with your other stuff. You can use V to switch the tokens that you make off of Ojama Duo to attack mode to deal more damage to them. And if you got limiter removal, that's cool. XYZ Dragon Cannon, you can discard Oja Magics and lots of other things and, you know, get rid of more things. And then VWXYZ Dragon Cannon, who's also very easy to summon in this deck, lets you banish things and also switch battle modes as well, which is super, super cool. And with limiter removal combined with the Ojama Pajama, means that even if you boost this guy up to crazy attack powers, he's not going to die at the end phase. So super, super cool. And then the final card we've got in the deck here is one copy of the most recently acquired card, Dragon Catapult Cannon. Crazy, crazy cool card that I've gotten out on multiple occasions, or I've had the ability to get it out, but I just haven't owned one. And I finally picked one up tonight, so I, you know, realized it was time to record the deck profile. Just a very, very awesome card. It's a combination of Armed Dragon level 7 and V to Z Dragon Catapult Cannon. Two of the toughest monsters to summon, but this deck just goes balls to the walls, Chazz style, and you can get this out pretty easily. Not probably against a meta deck, but, you know, playing casual, fun character deck duels, like this card will come out very, very often. And the best thing that I learned about this card was that, you know, even though it requires the monsters to be special summon, it can get them from the hand or the graveyard. So if you got both of those guys in the grave, that's cool. But that also, the only thing that has to happen is those monsters have to have been special summoned during the game, which means that if you run into a situation where your monster gets bounced back and you have some way to, like, get it sent back to the graveyard, you can still use monsters that were not necessarily properly special summoned. The only thing is that monsters with that name had to have been special summoned that turn. And then anytime you get another Armed Dragon or whatever to your hand, you can just banish that one instead. So really cool. And then its effect is amazing as well, that you can banish a card from your deck to the grave, or deck to your banish zone, and then this card just basically prevents your opponent from using it. Very, very cool card, and will also banish every single card on their field and in their graveyard. So insane. Doesn't have any natural protection of its own, but it is a force to be reckoned with, and it is such a cool card, guys. I love this card. It's the reason why I decided to build this deck. All that new support. Very, very cool. So unfortunately, like, you know, I am passionate about the deck, so it did end up going a little bit longer than I wanted it to, but I really hope that you guys enjoy the deck profile, and I should have a longer one coming out soon when I guess, like, figure out what more I want to say regarding this deck. But with that being said, guys, thanks so much for sitting through the deck profile and for watching it and for all your support. It means a lot to us on the team, and we couldn't do this without you, so thanks so much once again, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.